Good morning, students. Hope you are all fine. Now we will study the advantage and disadvantage of synthetic fiber. Let's have a look in the advantage. First is it has good elastic property. Second is wrinkle resistant. That means when we are folding it, no lines will be formed in it. And the third property is it is stretchable, so we can stretch it. Next is less expensive. That means it is cheap and it is affordable. More durable. That means it lasts for a long time. And the last property is it can handle heavy load without breaking. That means it doesn't break easily. Here are the disadvantages. First one is it catch fire easily. Next is not comfortable in hot and humid weather. That means it's discomfort, we cannot wear it in hot weather. Non-biodegradable. That means we cannot decompose it. So the bacteria cannot decompose it, so it is non-biodegradable. Next is do not allow air to pass through it, then do not absorb body sweat easily. So these are the disadvantage of synthetic fibers. Our next topic is blended fabric. Blended fabric. So what do you mean by blending? Blending means mixing. So blended fabric means when two different fabrics are mixed, so we will get a new fabric. That is called as blended fabric. Okay? So a fabric that is made by mixing two different fibers is called as blended fabric. For example, you can see terrycoat. Terrycoat is a blended fabric. That means it is made from, or it is a combination of terylene and cotton. That's why it is called as terrycoat. So we can see the properties of terylene. Terylene is wrinkle resistant. That means no folding will be formed or no lining will be formed in it. Okay, so we doesn't need to press it. So that is a property of terylene. And it catch fire easily. Just now we have studied it catch fire easily, so it is discomfort in wearing. So these are the properties of terylene. So what are the properties of cotton? You know, cotton is very comfort to wear, isn't it? And it absorbs sweat, but it is not wrinkle resistant. Okay, so when we are combining the two fabrics, so we will get a new property. That means, so the terrycoat have now the properties, that is it can absorb water, gives a cooling effect and comfortable to wear, soft and durable. So when we are combining the two fibers, we will get a new or much more improved properties. Okay. So clothes made of terracotta doesn't require ironing. Okay. Next we have to study about plastic and its type. Okay. So we all are much familiar with plastics, different types of plastic. So let's see the classification of plastics. So plastic can be classified into two types. These are thermoplastic and thermosetting. Let's see the properties one by one. The first point is monomers linked in straight chain. So in thermoplastic, monomers are linked in straight chain. Whereas in thermosetting, it is linked in cross chain. Let's see the figure. So you can see the first one is thermoplastic. So the monomers are linked in straight chain. But what about the next picture? It is thermosetting because it is linked in cross chains. Okay. So there is a peculiar property, that is once made can't be remolded and given any shape. That means thermoplastics. Okay. So once if we are heating it, so what will happen? We can again give it another shape or desirable shape. Whatever shape we like, we can give it. Okay. So what about thermosettings? Once it is set, it can't be remolded. Okay. So if we are heating it again and again, it can't be remolded. That means it can't be changed into any desired shape again. Once it is set, it is a permanent shape. Okay. Now look at the examples of thermoplastic: polythene, nylon and PVC, that is polyvinyl chloride. Next, see the example of thermosetting, that is bakelite and melamine. And thermoplastic is used in making chairs, bottles and toys, whereas thermoplastic is used in making electrical switches and handles. We are all using plastics in different areas as it had different uses. So let's look at the properties. First one is it is non-reactive. So it does not react with any food items. Next point is it is insoluble in water. That means it is not soluble in water. So we can use mugs, buckets and bottles made from this type of plastic. The third point is it is durable. Durable means long lasting. So we can use for storing food items. Next point is highly inflammable. That means it catch fire very easily. Next point is it is a poor conductor of electricity and heat. Since it is poor conductor of electricity, that means it doesn't allow electricity to pass, so we can use it to make switches or any electrical appliances. And since it is poor conductor of heat, we can use it in handles of cooking utensils. So these are the properties and uses of some plastics. So you can see like polythene, water resistant, strong, high density and is used in packaging and polybags. PVC, high density, rigid, used in making pipes and water tank. Polystyrene, high elasticity and good insulator, so it is used in disposable glasses and packaging, etc. Then PET, water and chemical resistant, containers for food and liquid, like that. Okay. Next we have to study the harmful effects of plastic. Okay. You must have heard our elders saying not to burn plastic. So what is the reason? Let's check it out. So when we are burning plastic, so plastic will release very harmful or poisonous gases. Okay. So it will cause different type of disease to us and also cause air pollution. And the next is, where we are burying plastic, there no plants will grow. That's why we are saying not to bury plastic also. Next point is, you must have seen in some places there will be buried plastics. Okay. So how this buried plastic affect our environment? This buried plastic will not allow water to go down into the soil. Hence will prevent replenishment of groundwater. Next point is that we often throw plastic bags containing the leftover food. That means after we are eating food, we will throw it out. So what will happen? Animals will eat this leftover food, and as they are eating, what happens? The plastic will also go into their body. So what will happen? Disease. They will be suffering from many diseases and eventually they will die. Next point is that some people throw plastic in the water bodies, okay, like river, pond. So what will happen? Since they are living aquatic organisms, they will not be able to live. Eventually they will die. There will be less oxygen. Next is plastic bags blocks drain. Okay, so since it blocks drain, what will happen? The wastewater will overflow. And since there is wastewater, so it will give rise to mosquitoes and germs. So mosquitoes and germs will arise and eventually it will cause diseases to humans. So plastic are recycled also. Okay, so in some cases that recycled plastics may have toxic dyes. So when we are having food, so what will happen? These dyes will be absorbed into that food items. and may cause several diseases. So let's see what are the preventive measures, how we can reduce environmental pollution caused by plastic waste. First one is whenever possible, we must not use plastics. Instead of that, we must use eco-friendly carry bags. Okay, so when you are going to the shop, it is advisable that you carry along with you a eco-friendly carry bags or cloth bags like that, okay, instead of plastic bags. And second point is, so plastic items should be reused again and again before throwing out. Next point is, we must have seen empty bottles and many plastic items which can be used for creative things, like empty bottles can be used for growing plants and many decorative items. You can see in the figure, this is a plastic bottle and it is used to grow plants. Next point is, ensure proper disposal of plastic waste. That means when we are going in the roads or anywhere, so we should not throw plastic waste here and there. Okay, we should properly dispose that plastic waste. Next point is, different bin should be used, or separate bin should be used for collecting plastic waste and any other organic waste. Last point is 5R principle. We must use or we must practice this 5R principle in our daily life. 5R stand for, first one is reduce, that means reduce the use of plastic items. Second is reuse, we should reuse a plastic item. Recover, recycle it, and refuse should be practiced. Okay, this is 5R principle should be practiced. So I think it's clear to all of you. You study all the portions once again and then answer these questions. Okay, these questions are based on the lecture notes only. So do these questions in your notebooks. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye.